On This Live Life Well, we're talking about dad jokes with Dr. Jennifer Baker of Good Dads. Are dad jokes good for anything besides a groan?
Yeah. They're good for lots of things. So the first thing is, when you have fun with someone, when you laugh with someone, you kind of increase your connectivity. Yeah, it makes you feel bonded together, and in a family that's important. You know that dads who have a reputation for telling dad jokes, kids actually feel more connected.
Does it just come naturally?
I think it comes along with the laughter. Yeah. That laughter reduces endorphins. It actually, so that's the second thing, is that laughing reduces stress. So a dad might tell a dad joke at a light moment when a kid's feeling stressed out about something that, is major to them. But it's not that a dad wants to minimize his child's distress, but a lot of childhood things are not that big a deal.
There have been studies about the power of laughter, and they found what?
Well, when we laugh together, it increases our feeling of social connection, which, we need, especially right now, because a lot of people are feeling kind of disconnected and at odds with each other.
Yeah.
So it can help us feel like we're all laughing at the same thing. So that decreases loneliness.
Yeah.
And it kind of overcomes some of those barriers that might make us feel isolated from someone else. But it also increases the endorphins in our brain, and endorphins make us feel good. So that's why laughter is really helpful in dealing with stress or stressful situations.
Now, we're talking about this after Good Dads posted a blog on this, and we have the blog pulled up here. So is this a good time to stop and tell a dad joke? When does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent?
Apparent, yeah.
And shaking of heads ensue all across. So you say this creates bonding.
Yes.
When you have that kind of everyone says, oh.
And that's like, but all of us can laugh at that together. All of us have that sense of like, oh. My husband, as a retired school principal, on a grandparents' day, he would always have his whole list of dad jokes to tell to the whole group, and grandparents would come up to him and slip him money not to tell jokes. But that was kind of the thing. It was like, here's money you could use for the school, don't tell that joke. But then, of course, that only inspired him to tell more jokes. So
yeah. Well, I've noticed with comedians, they can take something that is very serious, very tense, and they can put a spin on it and make you kind of laugh at it. So there's a value in breaking the tension that maybe a dad joke can also have?
Yeah, I mean, humor can lower our defenses in a positive way. So we might come into a situation feeling kind of, tense and have our defenses up. But humor helps us laugh at ourselves and look at ourselves and see, why am I taking this quite as seriously as I am? Maybe there is a humorous side. And there is, usually, at least in many situations, it's not as heavy as we think.
Yeah. Is there a bad time to tell a dad joke?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would guess if someone were crying, that's not the time to tell a joke and make light of someone's tears.
Yeah.
That's a good time to listen. But there are a lot of times when a dad joke would be very appropriate.
And on this, most of the blog items you write, I wanted to start this next section with a joke about stress, but I got too anxious about it. You write most of the blog.
I write many of them, yes.
In this case, you didn't write this one. Is this, you're reaching out to other people to get new ideas, or what's the thought process there?
So we've reached out to people in the community who we've asked to make, who we think, would you be willing to make a contribution? And this month's topic is on adolescents, teenagers, and so this is an English teacher at Glendale High School wrote this. And he wrote about the power of dad jokes, which I thought was just terrific. So, when we usually have a theme, we have a yearly theme, and this last year's theme has been being a dad during the various stages of life, and then of a child's life, and then a monthly theme, and so we're talking about being a dad of a teenager.
So one thing I've noticed as I've gone through all the stages of being a dad is when they're little, you tell the joke about why is 6 afraid of 7 because 7, 8, 9. And then, yeah, see, still works.
Yeah.
But as they get older, you kind of have other ones that work more with wordplay. And then as they hit a certain age, you kind of stop. You kind of, when they hit their 20s, 18, 19, 20, you kind of just stop with the dad jokes. So I'm wondering at some point, does that, as you're a grandfather maybe, does that start to come back because you have the little ones?
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my father was always using wordplay, just in that he named the things on our farm. But, you know, he they all had.
It's making you laugh now.
Yeah, they all had funny little names. Like he called the burrow Ross Burrow. So, I mean, and that, you know, they all, the animals all had names that were kind of a play on words, and yeah, so I don't think you ever stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get any insight into someone based on the dad jokes they tell, or do you just kind of do this, you know?
No, I probably just do this. I'm not sure that dad jokes would be a psychological marker of anything, but
Okay.
other than maybe a really good sense of humor or just a lighthearted person. No.
Yeah.
But I will say this, that humor and telling jokes are a sign of creativity and intelligence. So when you think about it, when you tell a joke in one language, you have to have a pretty good understanding of the language to understand what that means. Because we have all kinds of phrases and things that would not, if you're not an English speaking person, the joke doesn't make any sense to you.
Yeah, yeah. Like some of the jokes on here I really love, and other ones I'm like, well, I don't know if I get that one.
How about, that one?
I love that one. I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. I can't put it down. That's right up my alley. That's kind of the one I would tell older children.
Well, what did the buffalo say when his son left for school?
Bye, son.
Bison. And this would be a great opportunity for you to say that really in the United States and North America, we call them bison because there are water buffalo, but they're very different genetically, and they're in India, and they're nothing like the bison. Just ask any American buffalo farmer, they'll tell you.
Okay, okay. Should we end it with the last joke here?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the author is Dr. Bob Lynch, and he says, I told my students 10 jokes to try to make them laugh, but no pun intended.
I think that's great.
That's a great way to end this?
Yes.
Okay, so that's, we're talking about dad jokes on this Live Life Well, and we appreciate you joining us, Dr. Jennifer Baker with Good Dads.
Thank you.